Whoa, hang on, videoing. Yeah, cool. Anyway, I never tell with this camera. But look, it serves its purpose. It's done its duty. It's durable. It can take it licking without being a chicken. You throw it up in the air and catch it to death. And, yeah, it's just a good camera. Did it survive that? Yeah, it did. Anyway, where was I? Starting a video. Nihilism, maybe. Kind of. Puro. My Misery and Me made a good video. Just pointing out that, you can spell all this out. This isn't at all challenging. This idea that the truth is somehow undecipherable and that there isn't any truth is just preposterous premise. And the Snake Billskin, this guy, is just basically living by this. He's not even living by it. He's just a hypocrite. He's just using it to shield himself from responsibility. Just the same exact way Anti-Kantavad is doing it. He's just saying, don't rain on my parade. Don't do anything to disturb my reality. As soon as something comes into his life, it's going to disturb his reality. He'll just play the, I can't hear you because there's no real truth. Fuck you. I don't have to listen to you. And and he's calling other people whining cowards, and he's obviously the one running from responsibility. We all know there's huge differences in realities. The reality of being in a concentration camp and the reality of being at Disneyland. They're two different realities. One is decidedly better. We can know that it's perfectly sensible that you want to have more people in Disneyland and less people in concentration camps. It's just undeniable, fundamental, simple fact. And so you just start with that simple premise and you work your way to all the other circumstances. Every circumstance basically comes down to something that simple. In the end, when you reduce it to its parts, you will find it either creates more people in Disneyland or it creates more people in concentration camps. It creates more negative consequences for sentient beings in the end, or more positive experiences for sentient beings in the end. Or, as I would advocate for, let's go with neutral. Yeah, great. Anyway, we win. Fail safe. Whew, fail safe. Yeah, that's a good idea. But anyway, so, and that's the reality. I mean, it is just a ploy. It's a get smart kind of silly trick. The old, I got you with my nihilism, get out of jail free card thing. I don't have to be responsible or accountable. I don't have to be a real complete citizen, and I can pretend when I don't want something, when I have a belief in something and it's opposite yours, I can pretend, I don't have to take a position. So it's like Snake Billskin could basically be a fucking Reaganite Republican, and he's just using nihilism to evade having to advocate and say, I really do hate black people, and I'd like to tax the fuck out of poor people and give all the money to the rich people. And they can just do that by nihilisming any liberal agenda into, no, it's not relevant because you can't know it's the right thing. Nobody can know anything. And so you're all just being duped. I mean, obviously Anti-Kantavad is using nihilist evasion to evade having to deal with the rational argument that dogs aren't substantially different than pigs, and you can't mistreat one and love the other without being a duplicitous hypocrite. And so to avoid hypocrisy, let's be nihilist and pretend we don't understand, and that maybe carrots feel. Yeah, let's come up with some bullshit rationalization to evade, and a rationalization that conveniently just does away with having to answer any questions at all. You don't have to answer. You don't have to be accountable for believing in something or causing something. Just pretend it's all out of your control. 12 steps to eviscerating the brain. That's what it is. It's a 12-step program for the annihilation of all thought process. The brain is no longer a judging device. It no longer does basic math. It no longer can calculate anything logically. It's completely at the whim of, what am I hungry for today? Yeah, so that's the good stuff, is I'm hungry today for it. And everything I'm not hungry for today is bad, because that's how I feel today. And, this is infantile. It's the rudiment. It's the roadmap to moronic stupidity, uselessness. It's just preposterous. And then, like I said, for these people to be the ones saying, people who are fighting for something better are the cowards. It's just such a joke. But whatever. That's just another ploy. Another make what's philosophical psychological. Make it personal, and that way you can evade the fucking subject. Excuse my French. I was going to put this video on YouTube, so I have to be a little bit careful. Speaking of YouTube stuff, might as well get that out of the way. So I will, on these videos, I will update them with a listing of the videos on the website. And some of these videos I will no doubt maybe play portions of the videos on the website. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do something else. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know. There will be links in the description to other videos. That are on the website. And actually there were a couple of fairly funny videos. Not terribly serious, but they are in a way. There's the points in there. Yeah, there really is a point in there. Clearly made, really. And needs stuff that needs to be said. So anyway, I think that's all that needs to be updated. I guess. Anyway, I think I'll just, since I'm not going to be making YouTube videos very consistently, maybe I'll just block everybody again. Because even people I like, they're making such idiotic comments on this subject of this cigarette tax. It's just like, what the fuck? You're bigots. You got nothing. I don't like the way it smells. Well, too fucking bad. Maybe I don't like the way you smell. But guess what? You don't have to smell me. You don't have to fucking associate with me. You don't have to come over my house. Most cigarette smokers now are fairly polite anyway. Most of them do smoke outside. But man, fuck you. Really. That's just bullshit. You don't like how it smells. I don't like how fucking puke smells in a drunk's hair. What the fuck? Does that mean I can tax the fuck out of them? It's just, fuck you. That's just fucking stupid. Anyway. It's outrageous is what it is. I will rationalize a $3,000 tax on poor people, because I don't like a smell. Yeah, well, like I said, fuck you, silly person. Outrageously silly person. Anyway, where was I? Nihilism. Oh, yeah. So anyway, this, it really is irritating, because, you can't, if there's no philosophy to be had, why are these people arguing philosophy? And, but they're really not, right? They're just arguing against anything that sounds like responsibility. And so that's the real agenda. It's not that they're not really nihilists. They're just evaders, and stealers and crooks and bums. And they don't want somebody to point it out. They don't want somebody to point out they're just being ignorant, selfish fucks. And so they're just using the shield of some sort of philosophical nihilism to evade all their ethical responsibilities, to evade the fact that the world is not flat, that suffering does matter, and we have to account for our impact on the world. That's it. You're responsible. You got to accept that. You're a player. Every water torture is made of 1 million individual drops. All the drops are responsible. Anyway. So how else to approach this? Like I said, my Mr. Marie did a good video. I mean, there are facts. You demonstrate them. You logically prove them. And that's all you can do. If people are going to say that the world's flat in spite of the evidence, not much you can do. But they obviously do that constantly. How you doing? He's always talking. He's not doing videos though. Anyway, he was talking about the emotional state though. That is funny. We gotta bomb that state. Anyway, so yeah, that's the other thing these people do, which is really funny. They associate emotion with philosophy in the sense that if you show emotion, that somehow you're demonstrating that your philosophy is based on emotion. And it's another one of these cheats. It's, as I pointed out, there's a difference between the value of being in an emotional state, like, imagine that I am in a concentration camp, starving, and lice are eating at me, and I'm miserable, and blah blah blah, or I'm in a blissful state in some perfect warm environment. Those two states have value as I'm experiencing them. What I think of oranges in either one of those states, I could be in a concentration camp and I could say, well, I'm starving, but I really hate oranges. And I could be in the blissful state and say, gee, I'd like an orange. Even though I'm bliss, and I really don't need anything, yeah, an orange would be cool. Now, those opinions are irrelevant. The only thing that matters is the state of my consciousness. My subjective perception that oranges have value or oranges do not have value is meaningless. That's just subjective projection of value. The value is in my state of being. Now, psychologically, human beings are motivated through emotional passions. They have emotional responses. Information comes in, perception reacts, and their body creates adrenaline and other emotive chemistry that motivates them, pushes them to do something. Now, every time somebody has a cause or an ambition or a desire, it's made out of an emotional state that has to be generated. You can't manifest any passion or movement without some sort of emotion. Emotion projects you into the world. So there'd be no way to be an advocate for something if you did not have a corresponding emotion tied to the judgment. So if you judge something bad, it creates emotion. If you judge something horrible, tragic, awful, disgusting, massively horrible, then you'll have more energetic emotions that will be generated because of your association with the word horrible and something like the Holocaust, or something like having a nail shoved in your eye, or whatever the thing would be. And you've recognized that's a horrible thing. I will now emote. It happens because I have this association with the word horrible or unjust or wrong or theft. And those associations will generate the emotion for you. And it's just unavoidable. And so, but what the nihilists do is they sit there and look at the emotion and call it the judgment. And it's not. It's a consequence of judgment. It's a consequence of rational human thought. It's a consequence of how we function. You cannot function otherwise. It's really not practically possible for a human being to function, okay, without doing this. I mean, in some respects, this was a great flaw in the Spockian character, was that they would lack motivation in life without some sort of emotion to generate cause or purpose, personal. You'd end up becoming fairly lazy fairly quickly, I believe, unless you had emotion to push you through the discomfort. It's just, I think it's just part of the mechanism. I mean, having a directive, a mechanical directive that just says do it. Well, I think if you're going to experience it as a negative, if you're going to have if there's going to be a consequential risk to yourself, you're going to need emotion to propel you past merely logical declaration. You're going to have to tie it to pride or some other kind of, emotional mechanism. I mean, I think for Spock, the emotional mechanism would probably be, it would be humiliating not to do the logical thing. So it's the fear of humiliation, humiliating his heritage and the purity of their philosophy. He'd be humiliating it if he didn't do what was required, and that would be the emotional impetus to act. So anyway, but this is just another cheap maneuver, attempt to claim that because somebody is passionate for a cause, that their passion has blinded them, when it is in fact exactly the opposite. The clarity of their vision has created the passion, because they now see the Holocaust, they see the danger, they see the threat, and they react totally appropriately in terms of saying, I will do the right thing for honor, or not to be humiliated, or merely because I care. And there's nothing irrational or emotional, corrupting about that mechanism. So again, if you can see the two paths and you can understand them. Okay, when the intelligence talks to your emotional character, when it shows pictures to your emotions, when your intelligence is showing pictures to the ape, that's legitimate. When the ape is provoking, stabbing, jabbing the intelligence with rationalizations, then it's illegitimate. So these people are doing they have it exactly backwards. They're the real criminals who are allowing their ape to define when something means something. It has to personally mean something to them. They have no imagination, no capacity to extend meaning beyond the boundaries of their personal welfare. Where's the party attitude? And they're mocking and criticizing the opposite process, which is, here's an intelligent theme of injustice, a knowledge of injustice. Now here's your directive in terms of an emotionally appropriate response is, go get 'em, guy. Do the right thing. Be a good soldier. Be a good human. Fight a good fight. Come on. Your intelligence boosts your ego character, gives it a few nudges, and says, it's time to be a man. It's time to ball up. So these are all incredibly stoic and integrity-based, motive-based style motivators, and yet these nihilist types will claim they're the Stoics when they're the ones acting like the pussy women, so to speak, in the sense that they are allowing their personal subjective emotionality to declare when something's valid when something's appropriate, when it's time to act. It's all about their stomach or their penis, and it has nothing to do with intelligence, logic, and using your mind to expand your understanding of threat, to see the nuclear meltdown of the plant before it happens and do something about it before it happens. That's intelligence. Intelligence isn't saying, the buildings are cute. I want more free energy, so let's do it. I don't care how dangerous it is. I don't live there. It's in somebody else's backyard. That's completely bullshit. So anyway, dog shit. Yeah, it's, people are supposed to clean that up. Anyway, tax them. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, yeah. How this truck got in here, and just to do with this, whatever it did. Anyway, yeah, I think it's enough. Sorry, kind of a long video. Actually, I forgot that I'm taking the longer route today. I had a rather pleasant day, actually. A little cool, but not really cold. So that's good. Cool without being cold. So, camera's still on? Yeah. Yeah, okay, good. It's a video then. Yay. Across here. Not getting too wet. Success, mostly. Here. So till the next time, and such. What the hell is this thing doing? Holly. Is that what that is? Yeah, that's funny. Threw it out here, I guess, and it grew. Anyway, deer won't eat that. Need camels, put them down. They're eating everything else, boy. Anyway, till next time. I am done. Just babbling. Work. One.